everyone, Larry Satchwell here. Let's walk through the garden. Well, I know that blue sky looks beautiful, but it is a little bit deceiving. Rained all day yesterday, expecting more rain this afternoon. It's going to be one of those summers, it looks like, where we just get a few days of sunshine and a few days of rain. Got a lot of sunflowers coming up over here. This is my little pond here. There's a couple of fish in there and thousands of tadpoles. Yarrow's working great over here. Some sedum here. This came back from last year. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Got some larkspur here. Some more sunflowers. The roses have pretty much come and gone. This is 4 o'clock, and I planted it about 10 years ago, and it just keeps coming back. And in fact, at times it can get out of hand. So I'm going to let this go here. Here's my string. I'm still working on this last brick bed. Track season's over. I had 2 state champions this year. Very excited, from 2 different schools. But great for them, Cortez and Ashland. I'm so happy for them. Look at these raspberries. There's 2 different varieties here. Glengo doesn't have any, here's one, doesn't have any thorns. And it has a beautiful kind of purplish raspberry. One of my wife's favorite, but they're so expensive, like $21 a plant. I got this one a couple years ago, and it's doing well. However, most of these were supposed to be red raspberries, and they've muted into black raspberries. But we have a lot of them this year, and they are delicious. This bed goes all the way down here. This was just from a couple of plants that I had tried to grow in somewhat shade over the years. Canna lilies are doing well here. This is the hummingbird favorite. These are 2 onions I've let go to seed. I like the blooms on them. This is the peat pods. This is Mr. Big. We've had a couple of eatings off of them, and my oldest daughter came by the other day and picked some. Here's a pod that's ready. See if I can split it open here with one hand. These are delicious. We had them last night with some potatoes and a cube steak. But that's what they look like. They will get bigger, but you want to pick them when they're still small like this. I was really disappointed that they aren't sticking to my net as much as, gotta eat a pea, as much as I thought they would. And I've ordered some clips. I ran out of my dollar store clips, and the dollar store ran out of the dollar store clips. So I've ordered some clips. They're not going to be here until next Monday. Got a sunflower I've allowed to grow up in here. That was a volunteer. And there's the 3 or 4 peas that didn't make it onto the net. It was just too crowded. But these are delicious. Mr. Big. Another one ready to pick. Going up on this side, this is a yellow squash. Here. That is a female flower, and this is the male flower. No fruit on it. And I'm trying to grow them vertically, but I'm ready to chicken out. I don't know. I'm still in the woods about that. These are okra plants. I had to buy them. Mine just didn't come up after a couple of plantings. This is the corn that Eli planted for me a couple of weeks ago. That's the last batch. And here's the 1 week, and then of course here's the first week, and they're all doing well. This is my little wildflower garden. Couldn't be happier with it. As you recall, you may not recall, I don't like spreading wildflower seeds like they suggest out on the open ground. I prefer to take them seed by seed and plant them under the lights. This is larkspur. This is one of my winter plantings. It's really pretty. I love these poppies. These poppies have this cone. Well, that one just knocked off. But they'll start off with this cone, And it's kind of like a sheath that it just unfolds, and then the poppy appears. Poppies only bloom for a day or so, but they're really beautiful when they do. I'm not sure what this is. I can't wait for it to open. There's several of them down there. This is a basil, and I saw this at my friend's house, Babs, the other last summer, and it was so pretty. African blue basil. It will really spread. I'm trying to sprout some more in the basement, but so far I haven't gotten any to root. I'm taking cuttings off of this one. This is such a unique plant. Blue glitter sea holly. So unique. And then I've got some baby breaths in here. As I turn around, I've got some peppers being hidden back here by the sunflowers. And, these are volunteer sunflowers, but I've got a pepper on this one, and can you see it over there? One over there. And I've planted this with a lot of flowers in here. My number, or day, 42 day tomato finally gave up the ghost. So I bought a super sweet 100. It's already got some blooms on it. It's about twice that size. I really buried it high, deep in the ground there. This is a Celeste. Wait, is it? Oh, this is a Rosetta. This is another cherry tomato. And I've got these experimental cages here. I'm going to have to prop them up a little bit more, I think. I have some yellow squash over here. And again, I'm really on the fence if I want to try to grow these. It's just so hard to cut these off. And I've got these open stems down here that are full of water. I'm not sure I'm doing it right. Keep deadheading these marigolds, and the more you pop them off, the wider and they'll spread. I'm gonna turn around real quick here to Ethan's garden. This is bee balm, and the camera is just under my chin, so this is well over 4 feet tall here. Some more of it over here. And there's actually some red hot poker right here on the corner, and that's about the only thing that's in there. There's some creeping Jenny up the front. So I've got some dill growing here amongst the tomatoes. I found this thing. We have a store called Lidl here in Georgia, and there were 2 of these for a couple of bucks, I think $3. So I tried them out. I put it on a string. It's down in the ground about a foot, but I just don't trust it. And again, this is a sucker. Do you let the suckers go? Do you not let the suckers go? I'm waiting for those clips to come. But so far, so good on the string method I'm using this year. I keep wrapping them around. This one has a tomato on it already. These were really cheap, and they are taking a long time to grow, these petunias here. A big beef, looking very poorly. What is this one? This is the blue ribbon. This is another beefsteak type tomato. I've had as much rain as we've had. My soil really dries out quickly, so I've been watering in between the rains. Some more basil over here, and it looks like a marigold that's not going to make it. This is San Marcos. This is a paste tomato. There's 2 or 3 of those in here, and I've still got a tomato in here. It's kind of a little yellow because of all the shade it's getting, but it'll be okay. These sunflowers will bloom and go away, and that tomato will be here the rest of the summer. Pond's looking great. The water's good. My red honeysuckle keeps blooming all year. Here's a bloom right here. Isn't that pretty? The hummingbirds just love this plant. And it is a major wheeler. And you can see how big the stem is. This was 3 years ago. This is the 3rd summer I've had it. Mexican petunia hasn't bloomed yet. This plant I bought at the Tractor Supply store as a bare root. It was called hummingbird vine. It's in a lot of shade right now. I'm hoping that it will come up here on my gazebo and hit the sunlight and do better. All right, here we are at the perennial hill. A lot of dianthesis and a lot of yarrow. Last update, I had all that white clover in there. I think I've managed to get most of it out. It looks like right now I see a lot of morning glory vines coming in, and I haven't found anything to replace that with. I'd like to replace it with some coreopsis. This is all coreopsis on this line right here. There's some blooming up there. This is all black-eyed Susans. And as you can see, my daffodils haven't completely died back yet. Shasta daisies right here. And this is Joe Pye weed right here. One is a regular size and the other next to it is a dwarf. It's back there. There it is, right back there. That's a dwarf style. Sloves are still blooming. I cut most of them down. I'm hoping some more sprouts will come up. I have a little sedum here that's getting covered up by the black-eyed Susans. Should probably cut that back. Somewhere along, I see it now. I was starting to say somewhere along here, I do have a Nicotina plant. This is a reseeded Nicotina plant. It's gonna come up here and bloom. There's another one. There it is, it's already got a lot of blooms on it. Right up the hill there. There it is. I have seeded Nicotina in my basement twice and have yet to be successful to get any plants come up. These were Ferris Morris seeds. They're called So Easy. They've got a little clay covering on them. Oh, I didn't say anything about the strawberries. Just saw one right there and it reminded me. My wife has frozen a couple of packages at least of strawberries, and we just can't eat enough of them. My balloon flower right here, looking great. And this verbena, you see it all through the garden. Turning around here. Ah, the cats have been in here. Shoot. I didn't cover this. I don't have anything to cover it with. But this is year-round lettuce replacing this row of lettuce. The spinach has gone to seed. I'm going to take care of that as soon as I finish filming here. And this lettuce, we eat salads a lot. This is year-round lettuce as well. So is this. Some's going to seed. This is a Gabrielle. I really like it for the contrasting color. And I've got some carrots down there. You can see the shelving I put down there for this very reason, to keep the cats out. But I'll be able to salvage those. Just got to find something to cover them up with. Maybe I'll get some branches or something. This is the onions we use as green onions. The radishes here have pretty much gone to seed too. Another row of lettuce here and another row of carrots. This is a variety called Candy. This is our keeper onion crop. I think there are like 120 plants in there. Those will be about baseball size. And as I turn around, again, I've got some squash here and some zucchini. A couple little squash coming on down there. And the theory is I'll use this post as they grow out of the cage and put some clips on them. I'm waiting for those clips to get here. This is the other one of those spiral things. I saw Dean, a bug on there. I saw Dean use these in his North Carolina garden, and they were similar. I think he got his at Lowe's. So these were very similar, so I thought I'd try it. I've got a wayward cucumber coming here. So this is what I normally cover the newly planted stuff with to keep the cats out. And as you can see, I'm using it as a cucumber trestle. And I'm trying to make this one grow upright. This is the one that looked so poorly on the last video that's doing really well. So this bed next year, we're only going to plant one bed of strawberries. So I'm going to take strawberries off the hill there as this crop goes away and transplant them down here. This one gets the most sun. These three beds over here get a lot of shade. So I'll be using these to plant our lettuces in the future. So we're at the end of the garden here. I have another strawberry bed right there and a nice little junk pile here. I still don't know what to do with those baskets. I haven't decided what to do with them yet. I have cut a few of them and used them. Let me zoom in here, maybe you can see it. Use them to help, there it is, to help the yarrow stand upright. And once that yarrow gets to be about 6 or 7 weeks old, it falls over. These strawberries, the chickweed is just so thick in here. And this is a Hugo bed, a Hugo culture bed, so there's a lot of wood down there that has finally rotted away, so it's about 8 inches below the surface. So this is where I'll be putting a lot of compost this winter and fresh horse manure. And here's the potatoes. The side that gets the sun here is really doing a lot better than the side that gets the shade. But there are potatoes in there, I'm pretty sure. Karen said to let them grow a little more because she doesn't need any right now. Look at that. That, my friend, is good eating. Steam that, put some butter and parsley on it, and it is delicious. Again, these are determinate potatoes. So you don't need to keep adding mulch to the top or straw to the top. That won't do any good. I'm going to put some straw over that one just because I don't want it to get sunburned. Indeterminate potatoes, the kind you grow, keep putting mulch on, are not for this area. So that's why I grow determinate potatoes. This is a sunchoke right here, or Jerusalem artichoke. That's going to grow up to be really tall and look like sunflowers this fall. Well, that's it for the garden. Let me show you the daffodil bed real quick. Well, here we are at what once was the beautiful daffodil bed. Not so much anymore. I still have dianthus coming up in here, and I've cut back all of the foxglove, and I'm certainly hoping that some more will come up. Whew, this is a little wildflower. I did push. I know I told you earlier that I was opposed to just throwing seeds out. Well, I did buy, I think, 4 packages, the 25-cent packages of the dollar store wildflowers, and I did throw those out there last fall. So I have no idea what these are. That looks like a bachelor's button coming up right there. But there's some more of that back there. One of those plants that's in the garden right there is going to come up and bloom. This is Jimmy's butterfly bush. He said he had some buds on his, but I sure don't see any on mine yet. It's still early, hasn't been fully established, so maybe I'll get some more. There's some more wildflowers right there. That's pretty cool. And a bee balm, 2 of those. Some more bee balm back here. Oh, and there's a Shasta daisy already blooming back there. Directly behind me, these are the 100 days of blooms, which turned out to be 45 days from Burpee, but they've refunded my money. These aren't quite died back yet enough for me to dig. Once these have completely shriveled up, I will transplant those probably on top of the hill down there. More of the Shasta daisies I planted, and it looks like by next fall, I'll be able to divide these Shasta daisies and move those around too. One more thing I want to show you before we go. This was my bulb lasagna, and it is almost died back. I'm going to pull that out and put it in something else. The raccoons have somehow managed to climb up here. They got this one last night. Remarkable critters. And they make you feel so stupid. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cameras out here, and I cannot catch them in the act. I've had these cameras out here the last 2 nights. I don't know how they're doing it, but again, Rocky. And that's where I'm going to leave you. Frustrated with the raccoons at the bird feeders. I know this is a garden tour, but I had to get this off my chest. Mockingbird coming up there looking for some seed. It looks like they emptied up that feeder last night too. So as soon as I figure out how they are getting up there, I'll let you know. They've got to be jumping like 4 feet from that branch to that branch. Incredible. There's that mockingbird. I'm going to leave you with the mockingbird today. Happy gardening.